Hi guys, it's Becky, and I am going to be making some earrings today. I know I said in one of my last videos that I wanted to do 2 earring videos this weekend, one with the Fairy Mushroom kit from Softflex, and another with the Fairy Tale Follies kit from Jesse James Bead's Magical Mystery Bead Box. But I thought maybe I could just make earrings with both of them in the same video. So I am gonna do that. I spent this morning making myself some ear wires to go with them. I've got some ear wires in silver. Use that 22 gauge wire for that. I've got some in silver, some with the blue wire that came in that box. And then I've got some rose gold wire. I've got some gold, and then some of the leftover bronze wire from my last tutorial, the one that I did yesterday with the cuff. And because this is a mixed metals box, I went ahead and just made some of each of these for this side, and I'm going to be using a mix of the silver and the blue for this side. And I did kind of a different ear wire than I normally do. It's just a little bit different. And so before I start making earrings, I just wanted to make a pair of those ear wires here so you can see how I made these a little bit different. Right, so this is the Softflex Customer Appreciation Week kit. I am not going to be using this button in here. I love it. I just wanted to show you this. I've already made one project with that, and that was the fairy rings beaded link necklace. And there are so many other little bits and bobs in here that I wanted to use to make some earrings. So we're going to be doing that today. And this is just some check glass that I actually got from the Softflex site too. And I think it goes really well color-wise with a lot of the stuff in here. So I'm going to be using this for some of the beads. We'll set this aside for now so we can go over tools and make some ear wires. And then this is the Fairy Tale Follies kit. I'm not going to be using the feather or any of that, but I'm definitely going to be using some of these fairy wings, and we're going to be making some earrings with our little hedgehog buddies and some of these other cool bits that are here in this kit, because there are lots of things that you can put together and just immediately have fantastic and amazing earrings. So I'm going to be using those too. Let me put my ear wires a little bit out of the way. I've got my bronze, my gold, and my rose gold. I've got my blue and my silver. And let's just do a couple of pairs of ear wires with the silver wire. The tools that I'll be using for this, I'm going to be using both the round nose pliers that I've got here and my 6-step bail making pliers. You could make these with just the round nose pliers and something that's the right size and shape to form part of the ear wire around. Like this is just a micron pen, but this little nubby bit at the end is the right size to form part of the ear wire around. So if you don't have 6-step bail making pliers, you can still do this with just the round nose pliers. So I'm going to be using those for forming it. I'm also going to be using some chain nose pliers. I've got some flush cutters for cutting the wire, and I have a metal file for filing the ends after I've cut it so it doesn't tear up your ears when it goes in. You can also use a burr grinder if you have it, but it's just easier for me to just grab a metal file and use that. Okay, so for the wire, I'm going to cut off about 2.5 to 3 inches of wire per earring. I'm just using my fingers to straighten it before I do anything, and then also accidentally bending it because that's what we do when we're on camera. All right, got them together. Let's make sure that this end is flush. And now I'm going to grab my round nose pliers for this part. And I'm going to do these individually. Just going to grab it right there at the very tip of my round nose pliers and make myself a teeny tiny loop. Like that. Let's close that up. I'm going to do that with the second one. And if you're using the 6-step bill making pliers, this is the last time that you need to use these round nose pliers when you're making these. If you're not using the 6-step bill making pliers, then you'd find a spot that's a little bit further, like maybe halfway along here. Maybe even mark it for consistency's sake for this next part. But since I am done using these, I'm going to set them aside and pick up my 6-step bill making pliers. Now, if you've seen my video where I show you how I make my favorite ear wires, and these might turn into my new favorite, by the way, then you know I use the 6-step bill making pliers for it, and the 2 loops that I use for that, I'm just giving this little loop a little smoosh. You want flat pliers for that, just to keep it from deforming. Sorry, but as I was saying, I usually use the smallest loop and the largest loop when I do that. For this, I'm going to be using the second smallest and second largest loops. So now that I've got my teeny tiny loops, I want them to be facing away from the loop that I'm going to be wrapping around. So it's my second smallest loop. I'm going to have my little loops facing away. I'm going to bend this around until they're touching those loops on that side. And I'm doing these 2 at a time for consistency's sake. You can do them 1 at a time because you're using, if you use the 6-step bill making pliers, they're not going to be different shapes or sizes or anything like that. If you do it consistently or do it with the same thing, you can do them 1 at a time. There's not a problem with that. And I'm giving this another little squish. You can tap it with like a chasing hammer and your bench block if you want to work hard in it. I'm just going to use my pliers because that's good enough for me. All right, so then you've got these 2 together. And again, you want the loops, this pointing part, pointed away from the loop that you're going to be forming it around. So since I'm using the second largest, I'm going to be forming it around here. I'm just going to push this around. I'm just going to rub it again with my finger. Just put my thumb on it while I've got it gripped in here. Just to make sure it's good and round. And that's the first part. And then I'm just going to, while these 2 are together, right here where it starts to bend, I'm going to grasp the other side. Right there. I'm just going to give it a little bend at an angle. Still got these 2 together. I'll grab my flush cutters and I'm going to cut about 1 centimeter away. And now I can use my metal file. See, it's a little bit sticky outy. You got some pointy bits. I'm going to use my metal file and gently file down the edges. And that is how I have made these ear wires. I'm going to be using these in my designs today. Let me get the other one. And I want this round part to stay round, so I'm gonna smoosh, smoosh, smoosh. Just flatten that out a little bit. You can use nylon jaw pliers if you have them to protect the wire. I'm okay with a few marks on my wire. I don't make jewelry to sell, So if it's being worn just by me, I'm okay with leaving a few marks. But if you want to use stuff that have like tool magic on it, or nylon jaw to protect the wire, go right ahead and do that. All right, let's get these tools out of the way. Let's back our stuff up and start picking out some beads that we want to put together for our earrings. And I think I definitely want to do something with these, and I haven't figured out how yet. I am just grabbing stuff. I don't have a solid clue as to what we're gonna do and what we're gonna make. I love these guys so much. I love them so much. I just know that I want to make something and want to do something. So we're going to figure this out. We're going to do it together. And maybe I want to use these links. Do I want to use these links? Maybe. Yeah. I think I'm getting an idea for this one. How about some of these leaf beads too? Yeah. I think these might be good. No. Here we go. I know. Here we go. Not the leaves. This one, I think we're gonna do these together, and these guys are gonna have these green Yep, no, this is gonna be, this is what we're doing with these. We'll figure this out. We will figure this out. Okay, so I've got some beads from this box, and this is the Fairy Tale Follies Jesse James Mystery Bead box. This was the August box that we just got. All right, just gonna set these guys aside while I pull some beads out from the from this one. This is gonna be super fun. All right, I think I'm gonna grab these sparkly disco ball looking guys for this, because I think I want to do one of my favorite ways of using some craftware. I think I might make a hoop with them, and I'm gonna need a light dangle and these beads in order to do that. And so lightweight dangle, I don't know if I want the big ones. Maybe. Yeah, actually. Sparkle and some big guys there. I want to use some of these flower beads. I want to use these mushroom charms. And I want to use, nope, we're going to use this chain. We are definitely going to use this chain. And this, yeah, this is what we're doing. Okay, so I'm gonna save my fairy godmother stuff for later, and I'm just gonna grab a couple of these zigga guys, and some of these for reasons. Okay. Yeah, I think I've got a plan. I've got a plan for these guys. I may not actually use these in this. All right, so I've got a plan for these two. Yes, I have a plan for these. And I have a plan for the chain and these. All right. Let's get these guys started. All right. Let's do our easiest earrings first. All right, let's do the easy guys first. Easy guys are going to be basically not a head pin, but a, what is it called? And the thing, where you do the thing. With a loop on the end, both ends. Eye pin, that's it. It's basically an eye pin. And I think I'm using the 22 gauge wire, so I'm just going to do some wrapped loops for these. Which means we're about 2 inches down from the end. Bend it forward, roll it around, and bring it this way. And that makes ourselves a loop. We can slide our charms on the end. So let's open a little bit. I'm just going to close it. Where's my... There they are. Yeah, road nose pliers aren't as good as flat pliers at opening and closing loops. Right? Around 3 times. My loop wraps are just a little bit uneven, so I'm just smushing them up so that they're more even. So we do those, and everything that I do on this, I'm going to repeat off camera so that this isn't like the longest video that you've ever watched. I'm just going to do one earring per design, and then I'll finish the rest of them up afterward. I just want to make sure that I set aside the right amount. I'm just tucking my edge here. All right, so now I'm going to stick this flower on top. It's a really simple design. Like anybody can do this. And I want another wrapped loop. So I'm going to bend that over the top of my pliers, grab this on the lower end, and I do not have to slide anything on here because I am just going to be attaching my ear wire directly to this loop. After I cut this off and tuck my edge. Sometimes a simple design is the best. I like a nice simple earring, and this is honestly one of my favorite ways of having a simple earring is you have a special bead that you make a wrapped loop link in here. One link is attached to a dangle or a charm, and the other end of the link is attached to an ear wire. So I'm going to open this up, and this, yes, it fit. Right. Now I have my little mushroom earring, and it is a great mushroom earring. All right, I'm going to set this one aside over here with the things to make a second one with. And then for this, we've got these cool rose cages. I think for this, I'm actually just going to go grab a jump ring for this. Let's see, a 6mm. That'll work. This is going to be the easiest thing to put together because all we're doing is opening and closing a jump ring and attaching these gorgeous wire wrapped drops that came in the box to our fancy rose guys. This is literally super easy. I need another thing to hold this open with. Okay, here we go. Jump ring open. I'm gonna slide my little drop on here. I'm gonna loop my jump ring through. Whoop. I'm gonna drop my jump ring on the floor. It's gonna land in my slipper. Because y'all know I'm gonna be cozy while I'm making this, right? There we go. I don't know what's going on. My wrist, for some reason, it's been giving me fits, like gripping things. It's hard now. It like hurts my wrist. I don't know what I did. I did something, obviously. All right, now that I think is the back. That's going to be the front. So when I grab my ear wire, I'm going to want to hook it on this way. I'm just going to slide open this ear wire a little bit and see if this will fit through here without me having to use a jump ring on it. Up here at the top, maybe. Super easy, super pretty. You gotta love it. All right, I'm gonna set this one aside too so that we can make the second one. I'm gonna put that jump ring with it so it's all together when I make it. And now let's see if we can figure out these guys. And I think I want, let me see. Maybe some rose gold wire. I have some 20 gauge rose gold wire here. And we have, will these fit on here? Yes, they will. All right, so I am going to make a little frame around these, and then we're going to attach our little guys to the bottom of the frame. And I'm going to use this 20 gauge rose gold wire to make my frame. Let's see, how about 6 inches of wire? Let's try that. All right. These guys are gonna be in my way. Let's zoom in again so we can see what we're doing with these. All right. I'm going to take the top of this, and I'm just going to make a simple loop around the second biggest loop on my 6-step bill making pliers. Okay. And I'm going to give it a little smoosh for stability. Now I'm going to stick this guy in here. And I'm going to make sure that there's enough room for wrapping up here at the top when I make this little bend. Actually, like that. And I'm trying to keep that bend going in the same direction as this bend up here. And this is going to rotate, and that's fine. Now that I've got this little bend, I am going to take my 6-step bill making pliers and I'm going to make a small loop down here. I'm going to make sure this loop goes all the way around. Adjust it a little bit. All right, so I've got some room for wrapping up top. I've got my little loop right here. I want both of these loops to face the same direction. That loop's not perfect, but that's okay, neither am I. You know what? Maybe I want these loops to be perpendicular now. Let's try this. Yeah. But I do want this eventually to go that way. So I'm going to slide this guy on here. It's one of my hedgehogs. Let's close that. And I want this to be going in this direction. Why are you bendy? It's because this is craft wire and this is the nature of it, I'm sure. All right, this is the back of him, and that's fine. Because the next thing I want to do is use my thumb pushing up with my finger up on this bottom loop, and I'm just going to use my thumb and push this around the top. I'm going to pinch it so it goes all the way around this top loop. Then use my fingers, just kind of form it around the outsides of this frame. And now I'm going to just wrap it around here a couple of times. All right, that's the back, so let's go ahead and snip this here. Make sure you're snipping the correct wire. And I'm going to tuck it in. There we go. I'm just going to give this a little smoosh. Carefully and gently. You don't want to break the glass on these beads. There you go. And I've got a little frame for my bead. And I've got a loop on the top. I can stick this through. And that's why I chose the rose gold wire for this, is so that I can use my rose gold ear wire. All right, so we made a little frame around our bead with some craft wire. So that's the second pair of earrings that we made. I'm going to put these two over here so that I can make a second pair in a minute. Well, not a minute. a little bit longer than that. All right, now the third one, or sorry, the second pair from here. Did I already do it? No, I did not. Okay, so this one's going to be a little bit more involved. We're going to have some tassels and our disco balls, and I'm going to grab 2 different colors of craft wire. I've got 22 gauge. I've got the silver, and I've got the blue. And for this, I'm going to make both of my hoops at the same time so that they are the same size. You're going to want something that is about the size and shape of a hoop for you, because we're going to be making a hoop. I don't know if I want that big or that big. I think maybe this one will be the one that I use. So with your 22 gauge wire, we're going to twist these together. I'm going to pull off about 12 inches of both colors. I'm just going to straighten them out with my fingers. So the twisting will shorten them. So I'm going to grab both of these ends. I'm just going to grasp them in these pliers so they don't go anywhere. And I'm going to stick them in there, and I'm going to just start twisting them like this. This is really difficult to film because the ends are gonna get in the way. Let me do a little bit of this off camera real quick. Okay, this is twisting while I'm doing it. So what I'm going to do before I go any further is I'm going to bend this end over. We're going to cut this off later, so that when I grip it in my pliers, it doesn't bend away. That way I can get a better twist. On this wire. I'm just going to continue twisting this until it's the length that it will fit around my form twice. And I'm sorry, I'm bumping into this. I want it to fit around my, I'm going to be using this for my form. So I'm going to keep twisting this until I get it to that length. Whew, I am absolutely not doing my wrist any favors with twisting this. Someone suggested the last time I did a twisted wire tutorial that I get a little vise to hold it in, and they also have tools you can use where you put both ends of the wire in the tool and then just twist that instead of having to use your fingers for it like this. But yeah, I hurt my wrist, and somehow I've decided that I'm going to be twisting wire on camera, and that was just a really bad plan for me. But I do have this long enough that it will go around this twice. So I'm going to form it around. It's not quite twice. Let's twist again like we did a minute ago. Yeah, let's twist again. All right. Just gonna make this a little bit longer. Now I have done another video with twisted wire hoops. I'll link that in the description so that if you wanted to see that one too. It was not, it's not super great. It is one of my first ones, and I think I was off screen for a lot of it. All right, now that we've got this long enough that we can do this twice around, we can go ahead and cut our bendy bit. I'm just rubbing it with my fingers a little bit to help it stay a little bit more. But it's going to be actually, it'll end up bigger, so you want to make sure you've got some overlap than it originally was, but I'm just going to go ahead and cut this here and here, and then this one, I'm going to cut this one flush, and then this one flush here. I'm just turning around. Sorry, I was off screen. That way our hoops will be the same size if we cut them at the same size. All right, so the easy part, now that I've got my twisted wires, is hooking on my tassel. The not so easy part is going to be putting both of these in through this fancy ass bead and having it stay. I am going to go grab some glue because that is the best way to make sure that this bead will stay on these hoops, because like right now it'll kind of stay, but it might not stay all the way. And I'm just going to do both of these at the same time, if you don't mind. That way actually, I will put glue in this later. What you want to do is put glue on both ends of the wire and then stick it in here. But this is a twisted wire hoop, and I can grab my ear wires and put them on there. Yeah, I will glue this afterwards to make sure that it stays. I just wanted to show you a super quick way to make a fun dangly tassel-y earring, especially if you've got like colored wire like this. It is super fun to use it in this way with another color. And the heavy bead drags it down to the bottom, or pretty close to the bottom, and then you've got your tassel right there. So tassel twisted hoop earrings. I love these. But yeah, glue on both ends of the wire and then stick them in there and kind of hold it for a little while. And you can do that. I've got some glue over here. I will glue these after we are done. I love these, and these ones are a little bit bigger than the ones that I made before. So now I've got a different size hoop earrings that I can wear. All right, now let's do the more complicated earrings. Slightly more complicated. All right, now this one, I think I'm gonna grab a head pin for this one. Let's see how this works. I'm gonna put one of these bloobly balls on there, and then I'm gonna open this up this way so that the jump ring is resting right there. I'm going to put this second bloobly ball right there. And then I'm going to get our big old disco-y ball. I'm going to put that right on the top. Do I need something below here? Maybe I want this on the bottom. Let's try that. I love it. Yes, okay. Now, I'm just going to use my finger here to hold my head pin in the right place. Then I'm going to bend my head pin carefully. Right next to there. And then cut enough of it for a simple loop, because these are fairly strong head pins. Oop, that just went flying. Good thing there's nobody over there with eyeballs that need to be able to see. All right, and then we just bend this back. I thought this was going to be more complicated, but it was a lot less complicated than I thought it would be to get these wings going. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is going to be so much fun to wear. Fairy wings. But it's more like just a little guy there doing the thing. You know what? I think I might need to, let's see if this loop, you know what? I'm not going to bother, because I've got this loop on the end, so it's not going to slide on there as easily as opening and closing this simple loop will allow me to do it. So I'm just going to slide that open, put this guy on here like this, slide it closed. I love this. I love this little guy. Look at that. Yes. Okay. That was a good plan, Becky. All right. So we've got 3 pairs of earrings, or 3 earrings. I haven't finished the pairs yet, with the Jessie James Beads Magical Mystery Bead Box. I'm going to grab another head pin out of this so that I have it with my things for later. And now let's do some dangling. Let's just get some dangles going. What do you say? All right. I'm just going to grab some of these. It looks like, does this open? Is it a jump ring? Can I open and close it? Well, just gonna open it with this. I'm gonna have some extra of those. So let me grab this one where I've got 4 dangles on there. And I would like 4 dangles from the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to cut that here. This way it can be, you know, consistent. And then some dangles from the other side with the purple. I think I want 3. I'm going to cut here. I think I can actually, yep. One, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. These can be used in other designs. So I'm going to have this one too. 1, 2, 3. This is enamel chain that it's a Jesse James Beads thing where they dye the enamel so it's the color that they want it to be. All right, and then we've got our middle bits. I'm gonna just bend those kind of in half a little bit. One, two, three, four. All right, now let me get a jump ring to connect all of these together. Just gonna grab a 5mm jump ring. Hopefully that will go through the hole in these chains. I don't want the jump ring to be too big. Let's open this sucker up and start loading our chains onto it. Okay. I don't think that's a good jump ring. I'm gonna use this one instead. This one has the ends are closer together than the other one. The other one overlapped quite a lot. All right, so now I've got my jump ring open. I am going to take this one and try to string it on there like that. I'm going to take this one that has 3, string it on there like that. Then I'm going to take this one that is quite a lot, and I'm just going to loop right there. So we've got maybe a loop it there. So they're all about a different length, but we've got lots and lots of dangle. I'm going to close this jump ring. Make sure it's good and closed. I'm going to grab some 22 gauge wire right here. And I'm going to cut off about 5 inches, something like that. I'm going to make myself a wrapped loop on one end. Before I close it, I'm going to slide this jump ring on it. Wait, where'd the jump ring go? There it is. There it is. All right. You notice I cut off the same lengths for my second earring over there. So let's get this guy closed and wrapped. Your wrap doesn't have to look pretty for this because it is going to not be visible. All right. So now that I've got my enamel chain through a jump ring, different lengths of it, I'm going to use this trumpety bead cap. I'm going to put that right down on the top. See, you don't have to worry about your wire wraps because this is just going to hang out right up there, and these guys are going to come right out of the bottom of that. All right, now I'm going to get my bead on here, and I'm going to be using these filigree bead caps. I'm going to put one going up towards the bead that I'm going to put on. I'm going to put on our zigzag guys. And then we're going to put one down with the open part facing towards the bead that we're using. And now I just make myself a little little loop. I'm gonna make a larger loop so I can put my, whoop, I want this to be wrapped too. There we go. So I'm gonna make a larger loop than, because I want my ear wire to be able to go through the loop when I go to do it. So this is, I think this is number 6. This is earring number 6. Let's look at what I've made so far, and then I will make the second pair of all of these, and we'll do a recap. All right, let's get my, this is a very dangly one. Very, very, very dangly. Super dangle. Super dangle. This is a shoulder grazer right there, but I love how we've got all these little enamel bits dangling. It's like a jellyfish. All right. Oh, let me move that out of the way. Yeah. All right. I'm going to make the second one of all of these, and then we will recap. All right. Here we are. Everything is finished. I've got my tassel-y hoop earrings that I made with my twisted wire. I have my fairy mushroom earrings using these cute tiara cast charms and these check glass flowers. I have my shoulder grazing dangle earrings that I've made with this, and this, all of these came in the fairy mushroom kit that Softflex put together for Customer Appreciation Week. And then I have some more fairy earrings. Got some fairy wings on here on our sparkly guy, and this is from the Fairy Tale Follies Jesse James Beads Magical Mystery Bead Box. And I did make 2 of them, so they are going to be super cute to wear. And then we've got these super simple and yet really fancy looking ones that we made with the these what is it called? These rose wires, and all we did was just connect these drops that came in that box to these wires with a jump ring, and that's it, and then attach an ear wire. And it was super simple to make and super effective. Then we made some frames for our green boxes and attached our adorable little hedgehog charms to these guys. So now they'll be able to run around with their green and everything for us. So thanks for joining me today for making a bunch of earrings, and I hope you enjoyed this, and maybe you learned something new, like maybe with the twisted wire hoops, you hadn't seen those before. And I hope you guys enjoy and have a really great weekend. Bye!